Hey guys, my name's Phil. It's Tuesday, it's vaguely noonish. Let's do another one of these videos. The idea behind these videos originally was not so much for playing tutorials. What I want these videos to be is all the other stuff. The stuff that falls in between the cracks that you figure out over time. This week's video is going to be about the hi-hat stand and the clutch in particular. This is your basic clutch. They usually cost about 10-12 bucks. You can get them at any music store, or any drum shop anyway. All clutches have basically one job. They make your top cymbal attached to the hi-hat rod in your stand. They have a screw of some kind, a wing screw usually, or some way to attach the clutch itself to the rod so that you can use your hi-hats with your foot. If you'll notice, you'll take the bottom off, and there's two felts, usually, and then there's these two rings that are separate. These two rings have an outer knurled bit and an inner bit. The two inner bits should be against each other. Your felt, then the cymbal, then the other felt, and then this goes on the bottom. That's how it works. Right? These two bits at the top, what they are for, the first one is to set the tension of your felts, right? How tightly your clutch is on your cymbal. You want it to be able to move a little bit, you don't want it cramped right down on there. If it's too tight, it could damage the cymbal itself. The second ring is there to be tightened down against the first ring so that the first ring doesn't back out, right? It doesn't turn itself this way because it's going up against the second ring. So then you've got your hi-hat stand set up properly. Underneath it there's this little screw, a little adjustment screw. The point of that screw actually is to adjust the angle of your bottom cymbal, right? As you see, as you screw it in tighter and tighter and tighter, the cup felt and the cup washer, I think that's what they're called, they go on an angle, right? And that changes the angle of the cymbal itself. Okay, it's hard to tell the difference with these cymbals, I forgot, because the bell on the bottom hat is vented. But if I cover the vents perfectly flat, it sounds like this. With the angle all the way out, and my fingers in the holes again, it sounds like this. There's more splash to it. It's a bigger sound. One thing you might want to do with your own hats, put it all the way up so it's on the most ridiculous angle, and then just start stepping on it while you're turning it. And if you find a place that you like, leave it there. Inside every hi-hat stand, there is a spring. Every single hi-hat stand made in the last, say, 20 years has an adjustable spring tension. This stand in particular, get out my drum key here, needs a drum key bolt to adjust it. There's this one little screw here that you loosen off. You adjust the tension to where you like it, and it usually slides up and down, and there's kind of an indexy system sometimes. Not always. This one doesn't actually have an index system at all. It's all feel. Yeah, and then you tighten it up. But the same as with the height or the angle of the bottom cymbal, you want to just make it all the way one way, right? And then just kind of adjust it slowly back the other way, seeing how it feels, until you find something that works for you. What else? One last thing. I've been doing that a lot lately, actually. But one other thing that I really wanted to talk about was making sure your hi-hat rod doesn't get bent. It's a pain in the butt straightening them back out again. When you pack up your kit, it's very important to pack it up in such a way that you don't bend your hi-hat rod. Myself personally, how I deal with this situation, how I keep it from getting bent, is I actually take my hi-hat stand apart in the middle. So I have... So I take out the top section and the rod, and I take my clutch and I just put it over the threading on the rod so that the threading itself doesn't get damaged. And then I bring another clutch, my backup clutch, because you can never have enough backup stuff. Take my backup clutch and I put it over the other end. So that goes in my hardware case, and it's no longer an issue. Also, it makes it pack up smaller. My hi-hat stand is now this big in my case, as opposed to the entire length of everything, right? Like always, if you like what I'm doing, be sure to subscribe, and there's links to stuff in the doobly-doo. Tell everybody you know. Some of these might be relevant for people who aren't drummers, like that video I did about day jobs and cutting an onion. That might be useful. That's it. See you next Tuesday.